Stop wasting my time.
Okay. Hey guys, Ricky here with Movie Reviews with Matt and Ricky, and I have a special guest, Wheezy Waiter. Wheezy right now is in Utah, and last night we went to the Sundance Film Festival together and we watched a documentary called The Knuckle.
Or is it just Knuckle?
The Knuckle.
You sure?
It's probably just Knuckle.
Okay, I don't know.
I think it is Knuckle, I think you're right, but I just don't like to admit I'm wrong. This documentary is really unique. Basically is about bare knuckle fighting in Ireland. And what did you think about it?
It reminded me of growing up. No. I thought it was really entertaining. You're watching, at one point you're basically watching two grandpas beating the crap out of each other, just bloody faced. If you're into watching like ultimate fighting, I'd say it's like incredibly entertaining. As far as the documentary itself, I think it's kind of hard for me to understand what it was trying to say. It didn't seem like it was really trying to say anything. It was just kind of showing people fighting with their fists. But it was still really interesting.
Is this showing like a totally different culture? Where this group of people, the travelers out of Ireland or England, if they want to resolve problems between different families, different families that hate each other, they do it through bare knuckle fighting. And I have to admit, I felt like a meathead most of last night because I kind of enjoyed the fighting scenes.
Yeah, so did I. I walked away feeling guilty. But at the same time, it was also kind of like a tragedy because it's like they can never get out of that cycle of fighting. They'll fight to resolve something, and then someone will get angry and challenge someone, and then it's just an endless cycle of just fighting. And then there were a lot of close-ups of kids like pretending to fight, like they're going to grow up and become street fighters, basically. And if you love fighting, then it's a happy story. But I was a little disturbed.
Right. Well, it's funny because they thought they were making peace by having a fair fight, having a fair knuckle fight.
Yeah.
And it just kept growing and the hatred kept going.
Yeah. Like that one, the really old guy, can't remember his name.
Joyce. Joe Joyce or something?
He was nuts. He was insane. And he was one of the grandpas who fought. And he just kept biting. Like, you weren't supposed to bite. There were rules in the fights that you weren't supposed to bite, but he kept, when they got close, he'd just start biting, and then they'd like have to break him up.
How old was he, you think?
70?
Yeah, like, this guy's a 7-year-old guy, he's big and fat, and he says most of the time when he gets in fights, he gives somebody like 15 stitches, and then the whole time, there's like this champion fighter that was like 35, that was like in his prime.
Yeah.
James?
Yeah, I think by the end he might have been in his 40s.
In his 40s? Yeah. Like the 7-year-old man wanted to fight him and kept pushing to fight him, and they never fought, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But he mentioned that, by the end, he's in his 40s. This documentary was documented over time.
Like 10 years?
10 years.
Maybe 13 years or something?
Yeah, that was a lot. I was very impressed that they had such an intense documentary about something that's so specific, that they've documented that many years.
It sounded like, the guy who spoke, the filmmaker, he talked about how it sounded like he just kind of got lazy. He didn't know what to do with the footage. He just was filming, like every few months he'd go film them fight or just interview them over a period of 10 years. And never did anything with the footage. He just piled it up until he found an editor to figure out a way to make a story out of it. And so that's what laziness gives you.
Yeah. How many MR stars would you give it?
I'd probably give it a 3.5. Although I don't know how rare a 5 is, but a 3.5 I think is fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually would also give it 3.5 for sure.
All right then, we agree.
All right, well, so we will be having another review this coming Friday, and we're thankful to have you here, Wheezy.
Thanks for having me.
All right, great.
in Toy Story 3,
Yeah.
that is ridiculous. You can't get better than Toy Story 3.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Though, like, I didn't like it as much as Shrek, so I don't know if I.
Oh, way better than
I'm
Shrek.
getting out of here.
Come on!